I'm excited to go in and start adding some details on my little house here. And the first thing that I want to accomplish is trying to get a nice little sloped roof. I want to kind of go with that classic little house feel. So it's really easy to do that just by moving some of the verts on our strokes around in 3D, which is going to be pretty neat. So this is what I got so far. I'm going to jump into edit mode by hitting tab and immediately hit the 1 key in the top row of my keyboard to go into my vert selection system. Now, I need to be real careful here because I want to make sure that I'm just influencing the verts that are on the roof of the house itself. I don't want to mess with all of this stuff down here. Well, shoot, maybe on that fact, let's just jump over to stroke selection and let's see if we can very carefully select all of the strokes of the roof. I'm going to hold down the shift key. Yeah, and I'm going to hit Shift H, which is going to hide all of the unselected strokes. Yeah, I think that's going to do it because what I want to make sure is I don't want to mess up my the walls of the house or anything else. Let's go back into my vert selection mode, and I'm going to hit the A key to select everything. And the reason I'm doing this is so that I can very easily see the ones and deselect the ones that I want to delete. I know it seems counterintuitive. Why are you deselecting the ones you want to delete? Well, check it out. Sometimes it's easier to select everything and then to go back in and deselect the things that you, just the couple that you don't want to work with, because I could always invert my selection, which is automatically going to select all the ones that I'm looking to delete. Hit the X key, dissolve, boom. Now I'm where I want to be. Cool. Alt H to unhide everything. And let's take a look at what we got now. Yeah, because now what we have on just the roof, and I can see that I got an extra one right here that I didn't get. Just want to make sure I grab that one right there. I'm going to select none. There we go. Just going to grab these in here. It looks like I didn't grab those front ones, and I'm going to dissolve those as well. Because what I'm trying to do, and ultimately my goal, is I want to be able to select all of these boundary ones, these here, and these here on the sides, and move them up and down like a hinge. Something like that. Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that. That's a step in the right direction. That's kind of starting to capture that general house feeling. There's some tweaks in here that I can go in and do and continue to refine it. There's some gaps in here that I can very quickly fix. I'm in my edit mode. Let's just grab these, move them down. Just drawing out a box. Yeah, we'll just kind of fix it real fast. Make sure they look copacetic, nice and happy. Wonderful. There it is. I'm happy with that. That's going to look pretty neat. Pretty neat. Okay, I also want to start making a little doorway for this part as well. And I want to make sure that I create these on the correct animation layer. So I'm going to go over into my house walls animation layer. And once again, return to draw mode. I think for this guy, I'm also going to have a new material. And let's call this one door. And I think I'm just going to make it white. I'm not even sure if I'm going to have an outline on it. I can always go back in and turn it on later. Yeah, actually, I will have a little bit of a stroke. Just maybe not all the way black. There we go. Let's look at our scene from the front. I want to make sure that I've set my drawing planes to be what I want. I want it to be on the front drawing plane, so it shows up in line with the house. Right now, my orientation and placement of my objects at 3D cursor, I think I'm going to change it to origin just for the time being. You know what? We'll do this. Since we're here, let's go back into edit mode. Let's just grab that vert down there. Shift S, excuse me. I'm going to put my cursor to selected. And now when I go back into draw mode, I'll just make sure that the placement is at the origin. That way it's already in line with the plane of this object in the front view when I draw the door to my house. There we go. Yeah, I like that. That's a good looking door. Something similar to that. Let's just go into stroke selection. And I'm going to start getting this generally kind of lined up in the middle of my house. Something like that. We're getting some Z fighting in here. So let's just bring it forward ever so slightly until we're no longer getting that Z fighting. And there it is. I like that. That's looking cool. Okay, we also need to get some little steps in here because we need a little patio for our occupant to walk down, perhaps to get out of his house and onto his little concrete pathway. That's going to be a tremendous amount of fun. So I think what I'm going to do is recycle some parts and pieces that have already been created. Oftentimes, creating kind of a library of parts is a good direction to begin with. I have a small little library already created. In that, I got a cube right here. What if I just duplicate this cube, or these parts of the cube, pretty quickly here to get the illusion that I'm after? So let's grab this. I'm going to duplicate it, hit undo, duplicate it along the y-axis. Of course, it's going to be much smaller, much smaller. I'm going to generally kind of get it into the shape that I'm after. Yeah, which is right about like that, I think. Let's look at it from the front. Of course, we need to scale this down quite significantly, just on the Z-axis. So I'm going to hit the Z key, bring this down. Yeah, somewhere right around there. Now we have some things in here that we need to adjust. Clearly, we don't want to have that vert there be kind of a peak. So I'm just going to bring it down until it's roughly kind of in line with its neighbor over there. If it's, ever so slightly off, no one's going to know. You could also, if you really wanted to get rid of it, just dissolve it. Boom, now it's a perfectly straight line. I like it. Let's get the our cursor right to the top of that object there. And I want to be able to go in and create a cap. So back into draw mode, change my plane, my canvas plane to top. And let's just create, look at it from the top here. I'm just going to create a square here real fast. Something like that. That's going to be the top of our little patio for our guy to sit on. Now, I forgot to change the placement of this on accident. So luckily for me, I can just go back in, go into stroke selection mode, pull that guy down. And now we're starting to get something that looks and feels like a little patio for our little friend to sit on. Let's grab all of its component pieces, move it into position, kind of in the house. Let's also give it the appropriate material, because right now, all of those have been assigned to a variety of them. So with them all still selected, I can go into the material library, assign them to the concrete material. Yeah, there we go. That's starting to look pretty good. Now our friendly neighbor has an opportunity to come out of his house, walk onto his patio for a moment before he starts jogging down the street. That should be pretty cool. It's a little big, but I think it's a good starting point. Since we're here and since we're making all this stuff, let's go ahead and add maybe a few windows in here as well. And this is where it gets to be a tremendous amount of fun. I think for the windows, I want to have them be kind of this lovely kind of curved top straight down on the sides. Let's go ahead and make those real fast. I'm going to go to my front view, back into draw mode. And to do this, we want to make sure that our drawing plane is set to front. And here, let's do the same thing that we did the last time. Let's go back into edit mode. We're going to place in the vertex selection section, I want to place my 3D cursor right there at the origin, right where my my selection is. So we're going to cursor to selection. And now when we go back into draw mode, I want to put the location to 3D cursor. That way I can draw it from the front and it's automatically going to be in line with the front plane of the house. All right, here we go. Let's do it real quick. Now for this one, I want to make sure that the door material is also selected. And check this out. I'm going to start with a little circle. Now, there it is. Oh, it's Z fighting in the wall itself. So let's confirm that, hit the return key, back into edit mode. I'm just going to make a small little change in all of this. And stroke selection, excuse me. Just pull it forward. That way we can see it. Yeah, there we go. And now this is where the fun part comes in. What we're going to do is that we're going to change in edit mode. We're going to change our selection back into vertex. And I'm going to grab just these bottom bits. Yeah, something like that. I'm liking that. And we're going to delete those points, which is going to give me, oops, looks like I grabbed some wall in there too. Yep, sure did. Don't want to grab any of these wall bits and pieces. So I'm going to deselect all of those. We'll be mindful, mindful of all of these before we do any sort of editing. Quick double check, make sure we don't have anything selected in the scene. Yeah, I like that. We'll hit delete those points. Yeah, that's what we're after. Now, to make the actual window itself, I'm going to go into these bottom two verts and check this out. This is actually a whole lot of fun. With those two bottom verts selected, I want to bring them down, okay? So I could bring them down like that. That's fine. Another thing we could do is do an extrusion. So we can hit the E key, and then I'm going to immediately hit the Z key to extrude that shape downwards somewhere right around there. I like that. Now, to close the gap in here, since we're closing an already contained stroke, we're not trying to combine or merge two strokes together. This is all one stroke. I can fill this gap just by hitting the F key, and it creates a whole bunch down there for me, which is pretty cool. I like that. All right, let's give ourselves maybe some window panes in here. Back into draw mode real fast. And I'm just going to do this with the line tool. Now, don't worry, it is in fact there. And I accidentally hit the right mouse button. We're experiencing that Z fighting issue that we saw before. So before we go any further, let's grab that feller. I'm going to go into stroke mode by hitting the 2 key. Let's just pull it forward. Yeah. Something like that. There we go. Shoot, I'm just going to duplicate this once along the x-axis. I'm just going to spread these out. Let's look at it from the front. You can even go in on that top vert, bring it down so it's not penetrating through the top. We're so free to add as many of these lovely details in here as we'd like. Let's go back into stroke selection mode. I'm going to duplicate this one again and then rotate it. Let's see. I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees. Continue making these fun little pieces here. Yeah, there we go. Hit the 1 key while I'm in edit mode. And let's see. I think I don't need that one right. I don't need that one right there. So I'm going to dissolve it and grab its neighbor over there and bring it in so it's just inside. Something like that. Yeah, there we go. Back into stroke selection mode. I'm going to duplicate that one more time. Bring it down along the Z-axis until, I don't know, something like that. That looks like a lot of fun. That's a pretty convincing little window. Now I'm going to grab all of these pieces. Be very careful with what I'm selecting here, not to ensure that I don't accidentally get the back side of the house. There we go. Shift D along the X-axis. Boom, now we have 2. That's pretty fun. You can see how quickly we can add in these wonderful details into our little 3-dimensional scene. Almost kind of reminds me of the Simpsons house a little bit, but that's okay. You know, you're free to design your house however it is that you want to look. This is just kind of something I'm making up as I go along, and this is a tremendous amount of fun. And you can see the power of this system within just, if I wasn't teaching and demonstrating this, I could, you know, within 5 or so minutes, create this wonderful illustration of a 3D house that I can use to supplement the environments of my animations.